champion of the Daytona 500.
When you look for champions, you look to CBS Sports.
At the line, it is Dale Earnhardt.
This is the Daytona 500. Don't tell me it isn't. Thank God.
Will he come across the start-finish line? No, he did not make it.
Dale hits it. He slides. Donnie Allison slides. They're out of it. And he wins it. And there's a fight between Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison.
The roar of champions, a sound that forever rumbles round the banked curves they call Daytona.
Daytona is everything. I mean, it's the one that all the drivers want.
And to win here, they risk all.
Rusty Wallace, 20 feet in the air, spinning, flashing.
Rusty Wallace, consumed by the chase, like so many veterans who have never won this race. Rookies, young guns, led by Tony Stewart, fast, fierce, and in the front row.
Jeff Gordon has just become the youngest man ever to win the Daytona 500.
Still a youngster himself and considered the best, Jeff Gordon owns the pole.
Dale Earnhardt rolling into victory lane.
We've won it, and won it.
The reigning champion, Dale Earnhardt. He beat the odds last year. Can he do it again? Today, 43 men, stock car's finest, in the great American race, the Daytona 500. Valentine's Day 1999. Welcome to Daytona, everyone, and to CBS Sports Live flag-to-flag coverage of the 41st annual Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of NASCAR racing. It is all of that and more. A crowd 3 times larger than the Super Bowl has gathered for this running of NASCAR's premier event. Nearly 200,000 will be in attendance today, many of them along what is called the Super Stretch here at Daytona, which alone is an area twice the size of Texas Stadium. For auto racing fans, the Daytona 500 is the Super Bowl, the World Series, and the Kentucky Derby all rolled into one. It's true, the 43 drivers for today's race have been getting ready. In fact, racing teams have been preparing for this race ever since the checkered flag fell on last year's Daytona 500. Technological advances, philosophical strategy have been examined, employed, tested, hashed, and rehashed in an effort to arrive here today in peak performance mode for NASCAR's greatest challenge for its most prized trophy. Last year in his 20th try, Dale Earnhardt finally won this event. An event which had heartbreakingly eluded him for so long. While the victory was cause for celebration for the 7-time Winston Cup champion, Earnhardt lost something in the process. You see, when a driver wins the Daytona 500, they're contractually obligated to have their winning car and all of its contents put on display for a full year at Daytona, USA. The one item Dale wanted most was a lucky penny he had taped to the dashboard of his car, given him prior to last year's race by a little girl from Kentucky who just wanted to meet her favorite driver. How lucky was that penny to Dale? He didn't win a race the rest of the year, but this morning, as you saw, Earnhardt was finally permitted to retrieve his lucky 1-cent piece. Ralph Shaheen is standing by with the man they call the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt.
Well, it took Dale 20 tries to finally get that first Daytona 500 victory. You've had a whole year to relish that. How hungry are you for number 2?
Well, it's time. It's been just 12 months, and I'm ready to win again. And, you know, the car's running great, and all I can say is we just got to be there 499 miles and be in position to win it. So work hard and stay in shape, out of trouble. Good pit stops. We'll be there.
Well, good luck to you today, Dale. If he can do it, he will be only the 4th man in the history of the race to win back-to-back. Now let's go to the front of the grid and the man who is the editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Ralph. Tony Stewart is an IndyCar champion, but here at the Daytona 500, he's a rookie. And the veterans don't like to draft with rookies, but you need drafting help to stay up front, Tony Stewart. How do you fix that problem today?
Well, we may have to drop back at first, but you know, once we get back and find us a hole, then I'm sure as we run this race, hopefully we'll gain some respect from these guys. And you know, if the first half of the race I run really smart and show these guys I'm not going to do anything stupid, hopefully we'll pick up some friends later on.
And the sign on his dashboard says patience, and that is exactly what he has to execute today. Starting on the pole is a man who is anything but a rookie here at Daytona, Jeff Gordon, who's been winning races since he first came here in 1993. Winning the pole is one thing, but that's a very different setup than a race setup. You had the fastest car for qualifying. You got the fastest car in the race?
Well, we're going to find out. And I don't know if the fastest car is always the one that wins here. You know, you have to have a good handling race car. These cooler temperatures are going to help with that a little bit. But there's a lot of guys that are very strong, and it's all going to come down to a good pit stop and good track position. I hope I'm somewhere in that mix at the end of this race.
Good luck to you, Jeff. To Bill Stevens.
Mark Martin has had a sensational racing career, but the sport's 2 biggest prizes have eluded him, the Winston Cup Championship and a victory here in Daytona. He won the Bud Shootout last week, but Mark, this is the race you really want.
Well, this is it. This is a great American race. I tell you what, we're all fired up about it. The Valvoline team's got this Taurus running well, and we're just hoping to have a shot at this thing.
He's been here 15 times. He has 5 top 10 finishes. To Greg Gumbel.
All right, thank you, Bill, and welcome to the culmination of Daytona Speed Weeks, the last of this millennium and the official start of NASCAR's next 50 years. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours from all of us at CBS Sports. How this race has grown from its early days on the beach. Today, the winner will take home $1.1 million. There's over $8 million in prize money at stake. This race has been won by the sport's greatest legends. Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, and Bobby Allison have become immortalized here. But Daytona is also the place where legends are born. Is this the breakthrough year for Terry Labonte, Mark Martin, or Kenny Schrader? In about 3.5 hours, we'll find out. Joining me now is a man who has been to every Daytona 500 since 1964 and whose name is synonymous with auto racing, my colleague Ken Squire. This is CBS's 20th year here at Daytona. That means 1979 was the first visit here for the network. Do you remember that year?
Oh, who could ever forget that race? 1979 was a defining moment in American motorsport. You know, that was the year when a major network first stepped up and treated this event as they would a Masters or the Super Bowl. And they did it so well. The coverage was fantastic that year, and it changed America's perception about American stock car racing. That finish, what a remarkable moment.
Allison throws the block. Cale hits him. He slides. Donnie Allison slides. They hit again. They drive in the turn. They're hitting the wall. They're head on the wall. They slide down to the inside. Let's watch those third-place cars. They're out of it. Here they come. Waltrip trying to slingshot. Petty is out in front at the line. Waltrip to the inside. Petty wins it. And there's a fight between Cale Yarborough and Donnie Allison. The tempers.
Today, the man that is still the symbol of American motorsport. He was the key factor, I think, along with the television coverage. Richard Petty, that man who represents best that whole sense of a common guy doing uncommon deeds. When he won that 6-500, it helped so much to really put this racing game on the top of the heap.
Just one question. Are you ready for today, Ken?
I'm always ready for this one. This is a great.
Coming up, one of the greatest commands in all of sports when CBS Sports Live flag-to-flag coverage of the Daytona 500 continues.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by Pennzoil with Pure Base. Stop, go, Pennzoil. Nextel. You've never used a phone like this before. And by Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology.
It knows 2 speeds. Stop and go. It just beat a series of the toughest stop-and-go driving tests in the world. And it's brand new. Go ahead. Guess. You have 4.3 seconds. Introducing Pennzoil with new Pure Base. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
What'd you get the club?
Counting.
Counting gave you a club?
Yeah, I made him a deal. Whenever my cell bills are half as much as yours, they give me a club.
Aren't you on the phone all the time?
Yeah, but I have Nextel. My calls are rounded to the second. I pay less.
It's not fair. I want to be rounded to the second.
Wait till I get my putter.
Nextel's 1-second rounding makes ordinary cell phones seem ordinary. And now for a limited time, you can get Nextel phones starting at $99 each.
Stolen moments with the one you love. Is it wrong?
Heck no. Not if you love that one-of-a-kind 2 all-beef patty taste of McDonald's Big Mac.
Calling all units. Be on the lookout for the Hamburglar.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
We're here at a NASCAR race to take a survey. First question, does anyone sell as many high-quality auto parts as Napa? That'd be a no. Does anyone sell more hard-to-find parts than Napa? No again. Does anyone have as many ASE-certified employees? Last question. Would you like to get paid for this survey? Just checking. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and everyone's important.
Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway, everyone. It will be a cold and windy day by Florida standards for the race, but there is no rain in the forecast, although it is overcast at the moment. The temperature is 53 degrees, a temperature or humidity of 58%, and a slight wind at this point, although it was gustier earlier today. The forecast is for partly sunny skies, so we will keep an eye out for those. The track temperature is at 77, and Dick Berggren reports that the car temperatures are up already. For the pre-race ceremonies, let's go trackside for the invocation and national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the invocation by the Reverend Hal Marchman and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem.
Let us pray. For the beauty of the earth and for the glory of the skies, Lord, to thee our hearts arise. Bless all of us as we gather here for the exciting races in this beautiful place, and help us to pause and to give thanks to you, the God of all of your children. Shalom and amen.
And now, to honor America, the Star-Spangled Banner by Atlantic recording artist Edwin McCain.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag is still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of the Daytona 500, the Honorable Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Festivities now under our belts. Let's take you upstairs to the gentleman who will call this 41st annual Daytona 500, Mike Joy, Ned Jarrett, and Buddy Baker.
Thanks, Greg, and hello, everyone. NASCAR is the only major sport to start its season with its biggest and most important event, the Daytona 500. Two-time national champion Ned Jarrett ran this race 7 times. Ned, this race, 40 years, only 26 different drivers have won it. It's so big to win, but it's so hard to win.
It is so hard to win, Mike, and I'm sorry that I never did get to do it. And the fact that Richard Petty won it 7 times is still hard to believe. It just points up how great of a race driver he really was. Now, there are 8 drivers in the field today who have had the experience of getting in victory lane here in the Daytona 500, and I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. Certainly those 8 drivers would like to repeat here today. And there's some great names who have not had that experience. They want in there real bad. Guys like Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Ken Schrader. The list goes on and on. You can bet your bottom dollar they're going to be trying to get their name on that trophy.
If this race had been the Daytona 450, Buddy Baker would have won it, about 11 times. But in 18 years of trying, finally, you got to victory lane here. What did it feel like?
That was the biggest day in Buddy Baker's racing life. I tell you, I think back going around the racetrack in Columbia, South Carolina on half-mile dirt, thinking someday I was going to win the Daytona 500 and to have my dream come true. And you know what? When I give speeches at clubs around the country, the first thing anybody asks me is a question about the Daytona 500. It's special, it's great, and I want it.
Yesterday, you saw just how tough it is to run and win here at Daytona in the Napa 300 Grand National Race. Ron Hornaday has missed the wreck. He's down on the grass, getting away until sliding off the bank. Comes Phil Parsons, and Jimmy Kitchens pounds into the left side, takes him out of contention. How about 18-year-old rookie Casey Atwood, number 27, in second place, 1 lap to go, and he goes on a flyer. Atwood was okay, but his dreams of winning here in Daytona will have to wait another year. Randy LaJoie won the Grand National 300 yesterday. They are rolling off for the first of pace laps here at Daytona for the 41st annual 500. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the green flag for America's biggest stock car race after this.
There are many ways you can get stuck with a flat tire. But not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you keep driving to safety. The Goodyear Aquasteel Run Flat. It could be the difference between getting stuck and getting there. Only from Goodyear.
Dial 10-10-345 for long distance. Calls are always 10 cents a minute. Long calls, short calls, 10 cents a minute with no monthly fee. And every call's a chance to win a prize. So dial 10-10-345 +1 in the number today. Rough.
That's me, Bill. Here we are at the Super 8.
For reservations, call 1-800-800-8000.
It is more than sport. It is spirit. Ritual. Coca-Cola Racing family. Refreshed by Coke.
For Dan and Lisa, it just clicked. So they loaded up their Ford Expedition and got back to doing what they loved. Answering the call of the wild. I lost them. And they unleashed a beast of their own. That big 5.4-liter Triton V8. And you thought Little Red Riding Hood got a close look. Ford Expedition. Go Ford tough.
Experience the sounds of NASCAR rocks. This summer, join CBS's NASCAR Hits the Road with concerts featuring today's hottest performers. Feel the rush of NASCAR rocks. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Bud Pole Award, given to the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Winston Cup race. Last weekend, Jeff Gordon captured the first Bud Pole Award of 1999. Last Sunday, Mark Martin won the battle among all of last season's Bud Pole Award winners in the Bud Shootout at Daytona. Since 1979, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $7 million as the title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. For 3 months, the teams have been preparing for the moment that's about to occur as they drop the green flag on the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon starts on the pole, the 97 winner. 7 times this race has been won from the pole. A rookie's never won it. Tony Stewart will try today. Row 2, the qualifying race winners. Bobby Labonte, last year's runner-up in the 500, and Dale Earnhardt, its defending champion. Row 3, Jeff Burton, 5th here 3 years ago. Jeremy Mayfield was 3rd last year. Ken Schrader, the runner-up in '89, and Dale Jarrett, a 2-time winner. Mark Martin for the 15th time. He's trying to win it. Rusty Wallace, 17th year in the 500, looking for win 1. Jimmy Spencer and Mike Skinner, a couple of very aggressive drivers in row 6. Row 7, Michael Waltrip has 4 top 10 finishes in this race, and Kevin LePage in his second 500. Robert Presley finished 8th on Thursday, had a strong run. Bobby Hamilton is driving for a team that's won it a couple of times. Sterling Marlin won back-to-back 500s. Ward Burton finished 8th here 2 years ago. Terry Labonte, 2-time Winston Cup champ, trying to win here for the 21st time. And Derek Cope, the upset winner in 1990. Rick Mast and Rich Bickle fill the 11th row. Steve Park, a sophomore, and Kyle Petty in row 12. Jerry Nadeau, second-year driver, and Chad Little, row 13. Ted Musgrave from Wisconsin and Ricky Craven from Maine. Ricky Rudd in his 22nd 500 with Jeffrey Bodine, the 86 winner. Ernie Irvin and Joe Nemechek. Kenny Wallace and Wally Dallenbach. Dave Marcus in his 32nd consecutive 500, and John Andretti. 2-time winner Bill Elliott with rookie Elliott Sadler. Johnny Benson and Brent Bodine. Last year's Rookie of the Year Kenny Irwin, and Mike Wallace. Darrell Waltrip completes the 43-car field.
There were 16 disappointed drivers who failed to qualify for the Daytona 500. You can see the list there. Among them, the Green brothers, David and Jeff. Steve Grissom didn't make it. Stanton Barrett, Andy Hillenberg, Morgan Shepherd. Dick Trickle's not in this field today.
Let's take a look at the different cars that are in the event today. There are 21 Fords, 14 Chevrolets, and 8 Pontiacs.
There are 43 cars starting this race. They'll go for 200 laps. That's 500 miles for a purse of over $8 million. They can go 50 to 60 laps on a tank of fuel of 22 gallons. And the race record was set back in 1980 by our own Buddy Baker at over 177 miles an hour.
Let's take a look at Daytona International Speedway. Down the front straightaway into turn 1, it's 31 degrees in that corner. 3,000 feet down the back straightaway. Let's take a look at that 31 degrees. That's what it looks like.
That's where they are right now in turn 2, where that banking looms 4 stories high. A record number of in-car cameras on CBS today. 11 cars, 34 different views. Jeff Gordon on the pole. Dale Earnhardt has a CBS race cam on board today. Jeff Burton, the XI Batteries Ford from Roush Racing. He'll also ride with Dale Jarrett, 2-time winner of this race in the Ford Credit Ford Quality Care, number 88. Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford from Roush Racing. Mike Skinner, a former pole sitter in the Lowe's Home Improvement Chevrolet. You saw drivers with hands in the air because they have waved off the start that they anticipated this time. They'll take one more pace lap. Robert Presley, the Jasper Engines and Transmissions Ford with these views. You'll also ride with the Siemens in-car camera in the Bill Davis Pontiac for Ward Burton out of South Boston, Virginia. The Hendrick Budweiser Chevrolet changes its number from 50 back to 25, and Wally Dallenbach is the driver. And a sentimental favorite, NASCAR's most popular driver, Bill Elliott, the 2-time winner of the 500, and the Super 8 Motels onboard camera riding in his Ford. And finally, Kenny Irwin Jr., last year's Rookie of the Year, the Texaco Haviland Ford, will all be carrying CBS onboard cameras today. Dave Marcus, number 71, that dark, it's not black, it's camouflage colored Chevrolet. He ties the record for most Daytona 500 starts, 32 with Richard Petty, but all of Marcus's starts have been consecutive. He has never failed to qualify for the big dance. You're looking at Brett Favre, the honorary starter for the 500. Next time by, instead of a football, he'll have a green flag in hand. 5 drivers have an added incentive here today. That's the R.J. Reynolds Winston No Bull 5 program. The first 5 finishers at Talladega last October have a Dayglow orange front spoiler, rear spoiler, and number on the roof. And if one of those 5 wins the race, it's an extra $1 million for the driver and an extra $1 million for a randomly selected fan paired up with each of those drivers. A look at the drivers' meeting. Reggie Jackson is here. Alan Jackson, the singer's here.
Say that I'd like to have the guts and the ability to drive the way you all drive. Thank you all and good luck.
Honorable Associate Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court Clarence Thomas convinced these drivers he's a race fan. He's got a ZR1 Corvette, likes to hot-foot it, and he told us at the Grand Marshal's dinner last night, was looking at his wife when he said he'd rather go visit an engine builder's shop than an art gallery.
All right, good for him.
It's been a busy speed weeks here in Daytona. The Rob Dyson team, led by Butch Leitzinger, with a Riley and Scott chassis and Ford engine, won the Rolex 24 Hours. Mike Skinner, the Bud Shootout qualifying race. Mark Martin's first ever Daytona win came in last Sunday's Bud Shootout. Pennsylvanian Bobby Gerhardt won the ARCA 200. The Gatorade qualifying races for this 500, won by Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. Christian Elder, victorious in a crash-marred NASCAR dash race on Friday. Dale Earnhardt made a last lap pass to win the International Race of Champions event. And yesterday, the fellow they call the old man, former series champ Randy LaJoie, won the Napa 300. Congratulations to all.
It has been a busy couple of weeks here at the Daytona International Speedway, and the biggest one of all coming up.
as they come down for the green flag. They'll be turning this 2.5-mile racetrack in about 47 seconds under race conditions today.
The engines in these cars are restricted by NASCAR. The amount of air that can flow through the engines are limited. So it will take these cars more than a full lap to get up to full speed. And drivers that gain momentum on the start will be looking to move up quickly before they come to 190 miles an hour the second time by. Pontiac Grand Prix pace car dips to pit road. Jeff Gordon, youngest man to ever win the 500, and Tony Stewart, IRL champion and rookie, bring them down. Rick Barr waves the green flag, and the season is on. Good clean 2x2 start. Gordon has a little advantage in turn 2.
Normally, the first couple of laps, the inside groove is the place to be, especially when the tires are still new. They get a lot of grip down there, but Tony Stewart trying to change that as he goes down the back straightaway.
He is that. Jeff Gordon fights back on the inside as we watch him go down into turn 3 there. Bobby Labonte in the 18, Mike, is right on his heels.
And here comes Earnhardt, the man in black in number 3. Looks to split the 2 leaders. Not going to get there. Jeff Gordon's going to haul him off the corner to complete lap 1. Bobby Labonte on the inside for second. Gordon drops down a lane right in front of Labonte to lead it.
Through the tri-oval here, that's 18 degrees of banking right there. You can see the back of the car very unstable as they start off onto the flat part of the straightaway there, which is 6 degrees of banking.
It's only the 3rd time in the last 7 years when the pole sitter has led the opening lap.
And Jeff Gordon was happy to do that because it gave him 5 bonus points. In NASCAR Winston Cup racing, if you lead a lap, it's 5 bonus points.
Tony Stewart climbs the hill a little bit there.
3 deep. Bobby Labonte wants to get those 5 bonus points. He wants to lead.
Earnhardt behind Stewart. Not willing to take it 3 wide just on the 2nd lap of the race.
Tony Stewart is showing a lot of muscle there on the outside. You see him still running with Gordon side by side. Bobby Labonte's loving it because that one car out there in front, he don't have to worry. As long as they run side by side, he'll keep that lead.
Bobby Labonte to the front. He pairs up with Gordon on the inside lane. Tony Stewart, that orange Pontiac, leads the outside groove. Ned, this looks like a 190-mile-an-hour pace lap.
It certainly does. No one has been able to pull away or get an advantage. They're still running side by side for every position excepting the first one.
Tony Stewart made a little bit of a rookie mistake just in the middle of that corner. He went a little bit high, but he got great momentum going down the back straightaway, and they're still side by side.
Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, the Joe Gibbs Racing team knows that Tony Stewart's car is actually a little bit quicker than Bobby Labonte's machine. They want him to try to get up with Bobby. Since he's a rookie, they don't think too many people will want to run with him. They want him to get up to Bobby, tuck on his rear bumper, and follow him if he can.
Second Daytona 500, Bobby Labonte has led in 8 starts. Down to the inside, Gordon. Labonte just takes it 1 lane lower to hold him at bay. Jeff Burton is up for 3rd in that Roush number 99 Ford, the purple and black machine. 4th is Kenny Schrader. Schrader has shown a willingness to take the lane others won't. Now he's in the middle. As dropping down to the bottom comes one of those fast Fords.
We were wondering how long it'd take, Ned, before they started running 3x3 back in that group, and it didn't take them very long.
They get momentum coming off of the turn, pick up the draft, and are able to move right by.
That was Dale Jarrett making the move 3 wide on the bottom. On the upper left of your screen on our CBS scoreboard, a driver displayed in green is one that has moved up in the last lap, and a driver displayed in red, like Kyle Petty or Ricky Craven, has lost a spot since the last time by.
Tony Stewart's in trouble right now. He'll be dropping back. He's caught in the center part there where all the turbulence is on the draft off these cars. He'll probably lose 8, 10, maybe 15 position.
Yeah, he needs to try to get himself in line if he possibly can, because running 3 abreast for a full lap on this racetrack normally is not good.
As a rookie, the established Winston Cup drivers have not yet learned to trust Tony Stewart on this 2.5-mile super speedway, so they may be a little reluctant to link up with him. But he has a fast car. Some drivers will take that chance and try to work back to the front with Stewart. But right now, he's in no man's land.
Yeah, that's a recipe for a wreck right there where he's at. He has to be very, very careful, and so do the people around him.
Buddy, is he the nervous man in town right now?
Well, what he's trying to find him a place, but as you can see, there's not a car in get in either lane right now. He moves up on Kevin LePage there in the 16. Now he's back in line. He'll pick up the pace.
At the front, pretty much 2 by 2 through the mid-pack.
Well, till you get to Mike Skinner, and then he wanted to move down on the inside.
2 cars at the front, single file. And then Ken Schrader battles with Dale Earnhardt. Boy, they've had their battles in the past, and they're pretty good friends.
I think those are the 2 strongest cars after long runs is Earnhardt and Kenny Schrader. He showed a lot of muscle in every race, and he's not afraid to go up there and take a chance. Here comes, look on the outside, here comes Dale Earnhardt.
We're riding with Dale Jarrett in the Robert Yates Ford. Jarrett in 6th place on that low side. That's Kenny Schrader just in front of him. That low side is going to move up to challenge Earnhardt once again in that 3,000-foot back straightaway.
It's overcast here today, and it's cool. The track is not as slick as it's been all week here. It's been very hot here at Daytona, and the setups are maybe a little bit different. Certainly the cars are a lot tighter than they would have been. Here's Earnhardt making a move.
Dale Earnhardt around the outside. He's got help from Jeff Burton, Jeremy Mayfield, and Rusty Wallace.
Well, I take back what I said about that inside lane being that wasn't until Dale Earnhardt got up on the outside.
Yeah, but he's still having a battle with Bobby Labonte. They're side by side.
7 laps complete, and I've never seen a Daytona 500 go this long without at least a small pack trying to break away. But they are still, this is Noah's Ark at 190 miles an hour.
It is nerve-wracking. Here comes Jarrett again down on the inside trying to make that 3-wide move, and he does. He gets up on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon.
And the fellow they stuck in the middle was Schrader. And look at him back up in that green and white 33.
Mike, every bit of the turbulence off these cars goes right down the middle of that group. That's why they drop back when you get in the middle there.
Ride with Jeff Burton. Into the tri-oval start-finish line. Up his inside there is Jeff Gordon.
Now you see Earnhardt pulling over towards that inside line. You get a draft off of those cars. Even you don't want to go way out wide. That's what Tony Stewart did earlier in the race, and it cost him a lot of position.
We'll talk a lot today about team racing. Watch how 2 teammates have found each other already, and their cars are similarly painted. Number 12, Jeremy Mayfield, and 13, Rusty Wallace, or rather 2 Rusty Wallace. Those white and blue Fords, they link up and they work well together, and they'll do that all day. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Many of the teams in today's race have selected brand new race cars, such is the case with the number 24 of Jeff Gordon, who is running in 2nd. Bobby Labonte, on the other hand, your leader, decided to run a year-old car. And why not? The car that's in the lead right now last year won 3 poles, an outside pole, it won Talladega, and it was 2nd at both races here at Daytona in '98. To Ralph.
Dick, not only that, but what is going on right now between Bobby and Dale Earnhardt is a great morale boost for that Joe Gibbs racing team. Only one time over the course of this whole week has Bobby Labonte gotten around Dale Earnhardt through all the practice, all the times that he followed him. Only one time did he actually pass that 3 car. So for him to be able to run alongside and feel just as competitive is going to be a great morale boost.
It just got the lead back. Ralph is now up to the high side, 99 Burton. Now they've got Earnhardt as the meat in the sandwich.
Earnhardt has one chance. He has a team car, the 31, just behind him there. If they start working together, it will help Earnhardt. But right now, it looks like Mike Skinner wants to stay with Gordon.
Now, will Skinner let Earnhardt in line? You're riding with Mike Skinner, Dale Earnhardt's teammate. And here he comes.
Hey, he's going to pass his teammate.
You're watching back from Jeff Gordon, 2nd place car. Looking back at that battle. Now, Burton moves over to the middle lane, trying to break the draft on Jeremy Mayfield, number 12. And Labonte and Gordon will scoot away just a bit. Earnhardt is still the hot dog between 2 halves of the bun.
Absolutely. You hardly ever see Dale Earnhardt make that mistake, but he got in the center part. Now he has the inside lane. He'll start coming back up towards the front.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot he could do about it. Jeff Burton just pulled on the outside and coming off the turn 4, and hey, there he was. It wasn't a great deal that he could do about it.
Dale Earnhardt has a great car here. So good, they've only run 49 laps of practice all week with it, plus 50 for the qualifying race and 2 to time trial. Otherwise, it's been in the garage covered up. We are 11 laps into the Daytona 500. We'll be right back with you live on CBS.
guy, huh?
Yeah. Good choice.
Quit hogging the cashews.
I'm not.
Animal. It's a cat. It's a beaver. I think it's a marmot.
That was a beaver.
Are beavers nice?
Yes.
Look at him. There he is. I'm gonna give him a nut.
He's cute, isn't he? No. Beavers don't like nuts.
I've never seen a beaver eat a nut. I've never seen a beaver.
Everyone loves Planters nuts. Fresh roasted taste, and they're cholesterol-free.
Oh, he's good. He's very good.
Planters, relax, go nuts.
Think that'll fit in the van?
Snacking fans, start your engines. Planters is the official snack of NASCAR.
Driving with Quaker State again, Jeff Gordon won 13 races this year. Wins again. Tied racing legend Richard Petty for most wins in a season.
I cannot believe this.
And won the Winston Cup for the third time. It's incredible. All while Quaker State driver Steve Kinzer was winning the 98 World of Outlaws Championship. So once again, we're left to wonder, is it in their blood or in their engines? Quaker State, chosen by winners. America Online users. For complete up-to-the-minute sports coverage, news, scores, and stats, go to keyword CBS Sportsline on America Online.
Welcome back to Daytona. After 14 of 200 laps, Bobby Labonte's Pontiac leads the Chevys of Jeff Gordon and Mike Skinner and the Ford of Dale Jarrett. Yesterday, a really crash-marred Napa 300. Most all the drivers watched it from atop their motor coaches or trailers. Dick Berger, and that made for a very serious and somber drivers meeting this morning.
It really did, Mike Joy. They were very concerned and very worried. And indeed, this morning, first thing in the garage, crew chiefs were just saying, I hope we don't have a repeat. Now, we've had an awful lot of crashes here, an awful lot of accidents, so many that Jeff Hammond, one of the crew chiefs, went to David Hoots, who runs the drivers meeting, and he said, David, I don't know what you've been telling these guys, but this morning, change it.
Caution-free so far. Michael Waltrip up to 5th place. New ride for him. Matei Motorsports number 7. Now he feels the challenge from Earnhardt as Bobby Labonte slides up the racetrack and out of the lead.
Jeff Gordon takes over the lead, and Mike Skinner follows him right along. So does Dale Jarrett.
Buddy, what happened to Bobby Labonte?
Well, just what Ned said. If you get caught just a little bit out of position, you get a nose up under them, and they're on that outside, and everybody drops to the bottom. You have little to do with where you end up. They just all start going by you.
Front 5 or single file, then it's 2 abreast from there on back. 3 wide in turn 1. Look at this. Robert Presley, 77 in the middle. Sterling Marlin, number 40. Jeff Burton, 99.
And there comes the 98 car, Rick Mask, having a great run here today in the Cale Yarborough car.
A month ago, that team had disbanded. Cale put it back together. They're here.
Yeah, he started 21st, and he's already up to 12th. That's a great run for Rick Mask.
Back from Jeff Burton at 2-time 500 winner Sterling Marlin and number 40. Then Jeremy Mayfield.
Presley is still in the middle.
And now it's 3 wide, even at 6th place. Look at this. Tony Stewart is the man in the middle again.
He didn't want to get back in that position, but there he is.
And
2 rows.
Yeah, 3 wide right behind him, Ned. So Stewart will get a little help from Robert Presley there. Kevin LePage right in that middle. Excuse me, make that LePage rather than Stewart.
Those are the 5 cars that have dominated practice. Every one of those cars in the first 5 positions have been the quickest all race week here.
Jimmy Spencer is caught up on the lead draft. He's the 6th place car. Spencer has come from 11th. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
Mike, they are thrilled with the performance of Jimmy Spencer's car. All this week, crew chief Donnie Wingo has been telling me they have not been able to get that car to move. They've changed everything on it, and it looks finally as if all those changes are paying off here on race day.
He's right up in the lead draft.
The biggest thing in that car right now is the man behind the wheel. I'm going to tell you, he makes up about 3/10 of a second just by being determined to move up in the field.
One car backing up on the outside. That could have been Jeff Burton, number 99.
Appears to be.
Yes, way up to the outside. There he is. And he has lost about half a dozen positions on this lap. Number 99, Burton, is falling to the tail end of the field.
We have run 19 laps, and they're still going by Jeff Burton. And the field is still separated by just a little over 4 seconds from first to 43rd.
Let's go trackside, Ken Squire.
Jeff Burton broke a valve spring late in the happy hour yesterday, and they were so concerned that they changed all 7 cars, and that includes the 5 team cars as well as the Wood Brothers car. That was another one they changed the valve springs on this morning. Jack Roush was extremely concerned about the motor situation, so they spent some extra time. Wonder about Jeff Burton now. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Well, there's definitely a tire going down. They're not sure which one yet. The crew's waiting the arrival of number 99 here on pit road. They're radioing back and forth to Jeff as he stays out on the racetrack, trying to get him to decide if he can get a feel for which tire it is.
Cars in the top lane have been dropping back a bit. Mike Skinner continues to fight his way along next to Dale Jarrett on the outside, though.
Earnhardt also is dropping back, and you're right, Mike. What happens right now is Mike Skinner is fighting back without any great help. All of a sudden, Dale Jarrett's with him as they head down into turn 3.
Here is Skinner. There's Bobby Labonte with him. Gordon on the bottom now, drifting back. Jimmy Spencer comes up for third on the outside.
Skinner made that move going into turn 1 to try to go to the outside. Jarrett didn't follow him, decided to follow Jeff Gordon. It was a mistake because Skinner pulled him right on through on that high side and back to the lead.
21 laps, 3 different leaders, 3 lead changes. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Mike Skinner is the most recent driver to lead the Daytona 500. That's Sterling Marlin on the outside, driving for Felix Sabates, trying to track down Jimmy Spencer in that high line.
Boy, I was just thinking Jimmy Spencer all the way up to third from 11th right now, showing a lot of early muscle. Just behind him, one of the fastest cars in all of practice here, Sterling Marlin.
Marlin, a 2-time winner of the Daytona 500, certainly knows his way around this racetrack.
Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt won the Gatorade 125s earlier this week. They know what it takes to race well here, but we asked them, how easy is it to pick out a partner to draft with?
You know that somebody might help you, and they're going to try to help themselves to go with you because they know that if they help you, they're going to pass the car also. Whether that's your teammate or your brother or who, I think that's the call they're going to make.
You and I can sit here all day long and talk about we'll work together, we'll do this, we'll do. Man, when there's 40 race cars out there and they get to moving around, you can't get in the line you want to get in. You can't get with a guy you want to be with.
Sounds like he was telling us that right now instead of yesterday.
That's the position he's in. Earnhardt has been there right at the front, but has not been able to get back up there. He's been shuffled back, but his teammate Mike Skinner is up there.
23 laps, caution-free. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
The toolboxes are open in Bobby Labonte's pit. He has just called in and said, I have an engine skip. He has changed his ignition system to the backup. So far, no word as to whether that's working or not. Ralph.
Dick, the befuddled crew down here at Roush Racing for the 99 of Jeff Burton. He has radioed back to the crew and said now he does not think it is a tire. The car is vibrating. In fact, at one point, he even radioed in. He had some smoke inside the cockpit of the car, but they keep asking him questions. Do you think it's a shock? Do you think it's in the engine? And he just can't figure it out yet.
That's like calling your doctor on the phone and asking what's wrong with me. All he can do is take the input he gets from you and guess. Look at this, 3 abreast, and Jeff Gordon is the man in the middle between Mark Martin and the 16 of Kevin LePage. He finds a place in line, and they are still 2 by 2 all the way back through the field of the Daytona 500. 24 laps complete. Mike Skinner leads Bobby Labonte.
weekend projects. We have ours.
This is a sport that brings families together. Most of the time, anyway.
You're mine today, buddy. That rooster's crowing a little early this morning, isn't it?
This is a sport where the hearts race, every bit as fast as the cars. And this is a sport where some of its biggest fans are some of its smallest. This is NASCAR.
You know, a man can be judged by more than just who he is. And today, the jury is out at 211 Vine Street.
Where we from? Guess who I saw last night?
Who? Billy.
That man is fine. Too fine.
And that car is hot. Inside that car is hot.
Ruby Red.
I know that man in his Mustang.
I look good in that car. Billy! I look good in that car.
Keep driving, Billy. Keep driving. The new 1999 Ford Mustang, built to last.
Dave wants you to be his funny Valentine. Monday, don't miss the Divine, Bette Midler, and David Hyde Pierce.
This is Dave Letterman saying, keep a light coat of oil on it.
Monday.
Just outside the start-finish grandstand at Daytona, that square-shaped facility is the Daytona Club, a 1.5-acre tent that's played host to thousands of guests during speed weeks. It has several themed sections, including Italian, Mexican, and continental dining. That overhead shot, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. Captain Dan Thomas from Endeavor, Wisconsin, at the controls today. 28 laps into the Great American Race, and Mike Skinner, former pole sitter, has been pulling this 40-car train. Bobby Labonte's Pontiac in second, Dale Jarrett's Ford in third, Rusty Wallace in a Ford, number 2 in fourth. Tony Stewart, there's the outside pole sitter, the rookie in that orange Pontiac, number 20. And Jeremy Mayfield in the number 12 Ford. They've gained a little distance on the field.
Stewart has worked his way back. He had dropped back to about 12th place when he got in the middle there a while back, but has been able to work his way back up there now in single file, running along there in 5th place.
Mike, when we were at the garage area just a little while back, we were told that Tony Stewart and Jeremy Mayfield hooked up in practice. They found a combination. They're going to work together.
And for the Richard Petty and John Andretti fans, the STP Pontiac is being pushed behind the wall. Apparently something went wrong with the engine.
Ken Squire.
Yeah, that's a tough one for them. They've had some motor problems. They got caught in the 125 in the first lap incident. Number 43 came out for this race sporting all petty blue for the first time since 1971. Thought it might change their luck. Back to when Andy Granatelli first joined the group and put one sticker on the car, but apparently luck wasn't a factor today. Engine trouble. They're now shown 4 laps down. Looks like their day may be over.
Those Petty Blue cars have won 9 Daytona 500s. Richard Petty won 7. Lee Petty won the first one. Pete Hamilton in 1970 won it in the number 40 Petty Blue Plymouth Superbird. How about Mike Skinner, first champion of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series? Up for his second try at Winston Cup racing in his career, the Susanville, California driver. His teammate to Dale Earnhardt for Richard Childress Racing.
You know, he's never won a points race in a Winston Cup car, but he has won twice in Japan in this particular type car, so he knows how to drive, and he has a great crew chief, and I think right now, you know, the same guy that set up Earnhardt's car last year set that car for the 500 here.
That would be Larry McReynolds, a member of the Alabama Peach Fuzz gang that included Davey Allison. Came out of the Birmingham short track and rose to prominence here in Winston Cup.
There are 13 cars now, Mike. You can see that train right there coming by that are pulled away. You see the distance back there to that second group. Ken Schrader heads them up in 12th place, but that front group up there running single file beginning to pull away.
Well, as long as this group, Ned, runs double file, the law of the draft proves that a single file group of cars will be faster than cars racing side by side. That's why this group can pull away. Here's Ralph.
Larry McReynolds is the crew chief for Mike Skinner, and Larry, you're the man, the crew chief, Dale Earnhardt, to his first Daytona 500 victory. Do you have Mike on the same strategy that you ran with Dale yesterday or last year?
Well, you know, we're trying to just stay out front. You know, we watched the Busch race yesterday. Obviously, that's the best place to be, the way things have been going all week. But we just want to be smart. We want to be at the end of this thing, be in position, and hopefully not get shuffled. Like I told the guys this morning, whatever happens this Lowe's team, I'm proud to be with this group. It's an awesome race team. They're ready to win some races.
Little
cooler this morning. You know, figure about every 8 or 10 degrees, you got to add some jet to these things. So he's the one that had the most sleepless night last night.
And of course, Mike, that will affect their fuel mileage.
Cold air can make more horsepower, but it needs a carburetor adjustment to do so. There's John Andretti in Richard Petty's car being pushed back to the garage. 32 laps complete. Out front is Mike Skinner's Chevy, Bobby Labonte's Pontiac, Dale Jarrett's Ford.
Boy, Tony Stewart caught on the outside again. He drifted high a little bit. And of course, they can't wait on him. Even if you're working with somebody, you have to go when the chance comes. You see Earnhardt going by, Sterling Marlin, all these guys will bypass him because he's on that outside by himself.
Stewart just got, as they say in NASCAR parlance, hung out to dry or clothesline. He got out of the line and everybody else went.
Best thing he can do right now is falling behind that 6 car, Mark Martin, and just follow them along, draft along, because that second group would catch up with them if they start racing side by side.
And folks, it's not that he doesn't have the power. That's one of the fastest cars here. But when the lead car in that group is pushing the wind aside, the best place you can be is right behind it. Dick Bergman.
Well, it may be tough to find a mechanic on a Sunday afternoon for folks home watching television, but if you happen to be running well in the Daytona 500 as Bobby Labonte is, it's pretty easy to find one. His crew, however, has been worrying and talking over where that skip is from. They think it's possibly a loose wire because it's intermittent. It comes and goes. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car has a bit of a heating problem. His water has gotten up to 220 degrees, oil to 230. That's not good. They told him turn the fan on, cool that engine down.
You ride with Dale Jarrett behind Bobby Labonte's Pontiac. Bill Stevens.
I'm with John Andretti. John, there was a report smoke from the car. What happened?
I'm not sure. We got a problem in the motor department, I guess. Car ran fine. I was just waiting for it to thin out a little bit so we could get moving forward with the STP car, but unfortunately it wasn't our day, so try and get the Petty Blue car in victory lane sometime this year.
Second year in a row, tough break for the 43 car.
John Andretti won here, 4th of July, 1997, driving for Cale Yarborough. A Pontiac, a Chevy, and a Ford lead the Daytona 500. Those are the 3 competing makes. But it's 2 Fords lined up behind that third-place car of Dale Jarrett. Let's see if they can make a move when we come back to the Daytona 500. 34 laps complete. Mike Skinner leads Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett.
Courage, something shared by countless Americans. Those who risked their lives, those who battled serious illness. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I was primarily concerned with ridding myself of the cancer. But secondly, I was concerned about possible post-operative side effects like erectile dysfunction, ED, often called impotence. You know, it's a little embarrassing to talk about ED, but it's so important to millions of men and their partners that I decided to talk about it publicly. And after all, it can be associated with many conditions, including prostate surgery, high blood pressure, diabetes, or even smoking. And the point I want to make is there are many treatments available for ED, so my advice is get a medical checkup. It's the best way to get educated about ED and what can be done to treat it. It may take a little courage, but I've always found that everything worthwhile does.
Get ready. They're here. The most precious metals are about to arrive.
Stand back, boys.
Introducing Racing Champions Precious Metal Series Limited Edition Collectible Diecast.
In gold. In 24-karat gold.
And platinum. NASCAR collectibles so unique they could only be called precious metals.
Better get your hands on them before we get them all.
Racing Champions Precious Metals and Originals. There's a new series to collect every month. Available at your favorite retailer.
There are many ways you can get stuck with a flat tire. But not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you keep driving to safety. The Goodyear AquaSteel Run Flat. It could be the difference between getting stuck and getting there. Only from Goodyear.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Goodyear. innovators of run flat technology.
Greg Gumbel back at Daytona after 36 laps. We have had 3 different leaders and 3 different lead changes. The speed is up there, 187 miles an hour plus. No caution flags as yet, in the war of attrition that was the Napa Auto Parts 300 yesterday has not been nearly so brutal today. Only John Andretti with a bad engine is out on lap 25, but the day is young. Mike Joy.
Thanks, Greg. Buddy Baker, your record of the fastest 500 ever may be in jeopardy. Mike Skinner's crew looking on. They want to see how that car is running. Every team has TV sets in their pit and satellite dishes. We're 39 laps into the Daytona 500. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. There to the inside comes one of those Penske Granifus cars. Jeremy Mayfield, number 12, with his teammate Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, they're working very well together, but just a second ago, you see your second place car there, Dale Jarrett. He went by 4 cars on the back straightaway, no help whatsoever. He's got a lot of muscle.
3 wide, 6th place. Something here has got to give. 24 is Gordon, 2 is Wallace, 6 is Mark Martin.
I don't think anybody's told the drivers that. They're still 3 wide as they head off into turn 1.
Rusty says, I don't want to be here. That's the car number 2 right here.
How about that 22, that black and yellow machine of Ward Burton? He's right up into the lead pack. He's been as high as 5th today for Bill and Gail Davis.
Yeah, he started 18th.
And you're on board his car with our Siemens race cam.
Looking up at Mike Skinner, you see Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 going under him there, and his teammate Rusty Wallace right in tow.
Where you see one of them today, you'll see the other. Wallace and Mayfield running as teammates and seeking each other out on the racetrack. Bobby Labonte's Pontiac, the green car, hauling that blue, red and white Ford of Dale Jarrett, 2-time winner of the 500. Skinner looks inside, lines back up on Jarrett, looks outside. Single file once again through the top half dozen. Up in that pack, Kenny Irwin is in that pack. He started 41st. He's up to 15.
He had a fast car yesterday in practice, Kenny Irwin. He didn't have a good qualifying run, but they certainly got that Ford worked out good. And he is coming towards the front.
He's climbing the ladder. That's Irwin, number 28, and he has caught that second pack and alongside the 97 of Chad Little, trying to work his way up through.
Yeah, that 13-car breakaway that we had has changed. Here comes Jarrett for the lead at the line.
Boy, and he's got everybody behind him. When you make a pass like he made a while ago right by yourself, everybody goes, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe we ought to get with him and go.
Bobby Labonte looks in his rearview mirror and sees the next worst thing after Dale Earnhardt, which is nobody. Back he goes. Let's go on board with Mike Skinner and our Circuit City onboard telemetry.
Well, he's turning about 6,700 down the back straightaway there. About 190 miles an hour down going into turn 3. You can see the cars moving up and down. This racetrack is a little bit bumpy. Off turn 4, down the little short chute here, and you'll see the car rock over to the left. That's through the triangle here. Start finishing line right there. Now another little short chute heading in turn 1. They'll run right along the wall and then just dive right down to the white line on the bottom. You can see the car kind of wiggling right there. It's bumpy right there. You see it jump again. Now he's coming off towards the back straightaway. He'll go out against the wall. And that's what it's like to go around Daytona with a fast car.
Now, for you mechanical buffs out there, you see that RPM there, a little less than 7,000 RPMs, and you say, well, I thought these Winston Cup cars turned 8,500, 9,000. They do on all the tracks except in the restrictor plate tracks, but not where the engines are restricted. And Ricky Craven, an unscheduled pit stop here in car number 58.
Bad vibration for Craven. He is in about 15 laps before he would like to make a pit stop. This will cost him 1 lap to the field and take him out of sequence. Dale Jarrett is your leader. It's the first time a Ford has led today, and no Ford led a lap in the qualifying races on Thursday. We're 44 laps into the Daytona 500, caution-free thus far. CBS Sports coverage continues after this message and a word from your local station.
I heard this story about a group of tourists who were searching for Western heroes. Come on.
on, baby.
When they got a little off track.
We're sunk.
Luckily, their hero found them.
Guarda.
The legendary Ford F-150.
Gary Cooper.
Looks like he could use a hand.
With an available 5.4-liter Triton V8 that delivers more pulling power than Dodge or Chevy. Now there's a happy ending. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
There's a lot of reasons why so many people who take care of their cars turn to AutoZone each week. The low prices on the replacement parts they really need, and the large selection of the things they simply want. But most of all, they come to AutoZone because of the helpful, friendly people who work there. The kind of folks who know their stuff and who'll go the extra mile to help you out. Because after all, taking pride in taking care of people is what AutoZone is all about.
The address is CVS.
Welcome home.
These are Cobalt tools, the finest mechanics tools you can buy in any store. They've got contoured handles for a better grip. And the K-drive that grabs fasteners on the sides, not the corners, which means more torque, less rounding, and less slippage. So Cobalt tools can stand up to anything. From where I'm standing, that's a very good thing. Cobalt, setting the standard in mechanics tools. Made in the USA and guaranteed forever. At Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse and online.
You might think this start could cause serious engine damage. But surprisingly, this cold engine start could cause more damage. That's why Exxon Superflow motor oil races to protect vital engine parts right from the start, when significant engine damage can occur. For these racing teams, there is only one winning formula. Exxon Superflow. For protection that's fast. Protection that lasts.
News Channel 3, the only place you'll find Seinfeld.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR is built Ford tough.
47 laps complete at Daytona. Dale Jarrett's Ford leads the Chevy of Mike Skinner and the Ford of Jeremy Mayfield. 1990 Daytona 500 champion Derek Cope just made an early pit stop. He had cut a right front tire, came in to get his right sides changed. So he and Ricky Craven are out of the pit stop sequence. We expect regular green flag laps beginning in about 8 laps or so.
Green flag pit stops coming up here before too long.
Some of these cars, Ned, appear to have lost the handle. 23 Jimmy Spencer was up in that lead pack. Now he's drifted back into this pack and continues to run high on the racetrack.
I don't think handle had a lot to do with it. I think when that 88 car got in her lead up there, he pulled them away from that second group.
Kenny Wallace in his first drive for Andy Petrie Racing. Crew chief Jimmy Elledge, his team going to work. This is a little early for scheduled pit stops. Because of the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit road, under the green flag, if teams take a pit stop, they will lose 1 lap to the leaders.
Even if they make a 17-second pit stop and it takes 47 or 48 seconds to go around here, your slow down speed and getting back up to speed really costs you a lot of time.
We have been under the green flag since we started the Daytona 500. Buddy Baker's record for the fastest 500 ever at 177 miles an hour may be in jeopardy. Here's your top 5. Dale Jarrett in a Ford, Mike Skinner's Chevy, Jeremy Mayfield and Rusty Wallace in Fords, Jeff Gordon number 24. There's Warren Burton in 22. That's a Pontiac in 6th. Mark Martin is 7th. Michael Waltrip, Ernie Irvin. That pack back through 8th and 9th place. Number 3, Dale Earnhardt in 10th. Kenny Irwin in 11th. Robert Presley, Chad Little. Bobby Labonte is back to 14th place. There's Labonte's car on the right side of your screen, that green and black number 18. He's racing with Chad Little. Then it's Bobby Hamilton, Kenny Schrader, and Jimmy Spencer. Sterling Marlin, Wally Dallenbach, and Terry Labonte complete the top 20. There are 36 cars still running on the lead lap.
Mike, you're exactly. We're looking at Jimmy Spencer there at 23. He got as high as 3rd place, but he's dropping back right now. I think that when he gets tire wear, his car is not sticking just the way he wants it to.
Wisconsin driver Rich Bickle makes a pit stop, and so does the number 90 of Mike Wallace, who replaced rookie Mike Harmon for Judy Dunleavy in midweek here. riding with Kenny Irwin. What a climb he's had. Last year's Rookie of the Year started 41st, and Irwin is up to 11th place.
And I've noticed Jeff Gordon here. Looks like he's dropped off of the lead pack there just a little bit. He's not totally out of the draft yet, but see, he has dropped back about 5 or 6 car lengths. There's Gordon, and you see the front 4 there beginning to pull away a little bit from him.
I just wonder, maybe by it being cool, if they didn't put a little too much tape on some of these cars and we're getting water temperature buildup or something.
Well, buddy, they also have been concerned about tire wear. This track it's been a while since it's been paved, and it's getting abrasive, and the cooler weather today would help to increase the tire wear because the track wouldn't be quite as slick. You'd think that if it's slick, they'd slide around more and grind off more rubber, but if they get traction, that's when you wear off the rubber, and maybe he's a little bit concerned about that, or maybe the tires are wearing down a little bit for him.
You saw cars battling to stay on the lead lap. Joe Nemechek, rookie Elliott Sadler, and Brett Bodine riding with Jeff Gordon, looking ahead at that lead pack of 4 cars: Jarrett, Skinner, Mayfield, and Wallace. Jeff Burton comes on to pit row. Frank Stoddard from New Hampshire, the crew chief, will get a chance to look and see what problems befell the number 99 of Burton, who dropped from the lead pack to the back pack. Ralph?
Jackman Chuck White goes over to get to the right side of the car to get it up in the air. It should take just one push down on that jack to get the car up in the air. They go to work. Remember, they've had this vibration. They're trying to figure out where it's from. Problem with the right front. Crew chief Frank Stoddard is also the front tire changer. Slow getting around to the left side now. They get those tires off and on. A little bit smoother on this side. And problem with the left front as well. Now he's down and away. And stalls the car, fires it back up, and away he goes.
Marcus coasting in, getting tires, car weaved a bit coming in. Might have had a tire cut down, might have had trouble with fuel pickup.
And Bill Elliott pitting right behind him.
And Johnny Benson, Jerry Nadeau. These are all scheduled green flag pit stops coming at lap 53. Dick Bergman.
Dale Earnhardt's crew member, Bobby Hutchins, has just been down to Bobby Labonte's pit and asked if they could pit together. They have agreed to do exactly that. Earnhardt fighting a push with his race car. He is not at all happy with the handling in that automobile. Jarrett is going to come in and try to change his handling just a little bit as well. His temperature has stabilized.
Teammates Mayfield and Rusty Wallace peel off the track together as expected to make stops. Here comes Wally Dallenbach, Bobby Hamilton, Terry Labonte, and outside pole sitter Tony Stewart. Bill?
Wallace and Mayfield into the pits just a moment ago. The crew chief for Jeremy Mayfield, Paul Andrews, got together with Robin Pemberton, the crew chief for Rusty Wallace, and said, watch the tires when you take them off the cars. Yesterday, some incidents in the Busch race cost a couple of drivers some positions. They're just taking on 4 tires, full load of fuel, and no other adjustments, and nose to tail, they want to get them out. Mayfield slightly slower to Dick Bergman.
Tony Stewart is just leaving the pit, and that is a brand new team. That is the very first pit stop that they have ever executed, and they did a good job. 19.41, 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel. They did it right, Mike.
Jeffrey Bodine has been in. Also the 75 of Ted Musgrave. The leader, Dale Jarrett, will pit in 2 laps. Tony Stewart coming back out. Going to take a lap or so to build speed to get back up to speed and merge with traffic. Darrell Waltrip, Ernie Irvin is in. The 98 is in. That's Rick Mast, Steve Park, Ricky Rudd, rookie Elliott Sadler, and Brett Bodine all making pit stops. We expected stops in the lap 55 to 60 range, and that's just about where they're coming. There's a look at Rick Mast. Ernie Irvin with that brand new paint job. It's the favorite of all the kids. His helmet looks just like the race car.
Here's Kyle Petty going out of the pits after getting his service.
Leaders come by one more time in that front pack. Following Dale Jarrett is 31 Mike Skinner. There's Ricky Rudd, the orange number 10, and Steve Park completing service. Brett Bodine's white car and Park, whose rookie season cut short by a bad crash in Atlanta, but he's back healthy, ready to race. This time around, we should see the leaders. Number 88, Jarrett, the Ford.
Now there's Rusty Wallace running right behind them. He has made his pit stop, but he is 1 lap down. But he might be the leader after all of these pit stops are completed because he made a good pit stop. And here we do see Jarrett and Skinner coming into the pits.
They had a good move for them to pit together since they were running together.
Yeah, I think so, because they drafted together well. Dale Gordon is coming in. A lot of other cars coming in as well. They drafted together well at Talladega last October, and they're racing down pit road there. Jarrett get to his pits first.
The hope of all these cars is they can get out of the pits with the drivers that were leading and draft along with them. Jeff Gordon's in. Mark Martin's in. Here's Ralph.
Mike Skinner's crew goes to work on the car. They'll take 4 tires of fuel. They're not going to make any changes on this car. Work completed on the right side. They go to work as the first can of fuel comes flying over the wall. Tires are off and on. Just in front of him, Robert Presley's crew completes his work. A great stop for Skinner. He wanted to pit with Jarrett. He'll go right back out with him. Jeff Gordon leaves as well. They did change air pressures there to Bill Stevens.
Dale Earnhardt finishes his pit stop. He took 4 tires and a load of fuel and is back out again. About a 21-second pit stop for the number 3 car.
The drivers that stopped in this sequence include Earnhardt pulling away now. Let's go back to Dick Berggren.
Dale Jarrett had a great pit stop. He just ripped off a 16.65 other than putting 4 tires, 2 cans of gas in it. They changed a tire pressure 1 pound. And that, believe it or not, will make that car run better. Mike?
Drivers that stopped on this lap include Earnhardt, number 3, Jimmy Spencer, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte came in. So did the 77 of Robert Presley, Sterling Marlin, Ward Burton, Kenny Irwin, and the 16 of Kevin LePage. So did Michael Waltrip. They all stopped on the same lap.
Now here's Rusty Wallace getting around Dale Jarrett. We said that Rusty Wallace would probably be the leader after this round of pit stops. Sure enough, he is. Even though Jarrett might have made a half a second faster pit stop than he did, Rusty got in and out the pits good, got back out there, ran 2 or 3 laps on those fresh tires, allowed him to roll a bit faster than he'd been running on the old tires, and so that's put him in the lead.
Let's reset the order for you after pit stops. There is your leader, Rusty Wallace, who is trying to win the Daytona 500 for his first time. Dale Jarrett is second. Mike Skinner is third. Jeremy Mayfield fourth. Jeff Gordon's fifth. Kenny Schrader sixth. Seventh is Mark Martin. Eighth, good stop for Bill Elliott. Ninth is Chad Little. 10th, the rookie Tony Stewart. 11th is Bobby Labonte. 12th, Bobby Hamilton. Then it's Ernie Irvin, Terry Labonte, Kenny Irwin, Michael Waltrip, Robert Presley, Kyle Petty, Wally Dunlap, and Dale Earnhardt, the top 20.
Third and fourth better get in gear because those are 2 lightning fast cars right there. Mike Skinner and Jeremy Mayfield are coming around Derek Cope right now trying to get in that lead draft. If those 2 cars get hooked up and they happen to get away into some lap traffic, they're in trouble.
Here's the battle for third place. You see number 12, Jeremy Mayfield, battling along with Derek Cope.
And that really hurt Cope. He got a little bit loose coming off of that corner there, had to back off momentarily, and see he has almost lost the draft of Skinner as Skinner tries to catch up to that twosome up front of Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett.
Cope is one of 2 drivers that did not catch back up onto the lead lap with pit stops. The other is Dave Marcus. Watch number 4, Bobby Hamilton, on the inside of Tony Stewart. And here's your pit summary showing the total time on pit road. That's where you see the tenths of a second really count. Dale Jarrett was the quickest of those, and he's now back up at the front with Rusty Wallace.
And you saw that Jeff Gordon took a little bit longer on pit road. He is now 4 3/4 of a second behind the leader, Rusty Wallace.
60 laps into the Daytona 500, running at a record pace, caution free. We'll be right back.
Adolphus Busch went to Germany every summer looking at different breweries, and he wrote a series of letters back to his son. September the 20th, 1897. I would advise that we buy the finest growths of barley as soon as we can. We cannot make fine malt from inferior barley, and we cannot make fine beer from inferior malt.
It's a dead heat coming out of the turn. Martin's opening his doors through it. Mark Martin takes it wide, very wide. He's leaving the track.
Hardee's Frisco Burger, crispy bacon, tomato, and melted Swiss cheese, served on grilled sourdough bread.
Martin is through the gate and back on the track.
The Frisco Burger, only at Hardee's.
ever put to the test, America's most trusted lives up to its name. Die Hard. What's under your hood?
Action Magazine calls the Sportsman 500 the king of the 4x4s. It's the only ATV with independent rear suspension, 11 inches of ground clearance, and a powerful Polaris 500 engine. In fact, only one four-wheeler with our name on it has more power. Proud sponsor of the Polaris Remington Winston Cup team.
You've practiced the play 1,000,000 times, and it pays off.
For the win!
It's March Madness on CBS.
After today's race, get a complete wrap-up with the latest news from the track, plus audio interviews and more at cbs.sportsline.com, or log on to America Online and go to keyword CBS Sportsline. Yesterday at Torrey Pines, Tiger Woods blistered the course. The Buick Invitational is coming up next. And Tiger with a 62 yesterday, now is 15 under par with the lead. Billy Ray Brown is 1 stroke back with 3 tied, 2 strokes off the lead. That's coming up later today on CBS Sports. At 64 laps, Rusty Wallace is the leader. NASCAR's most popular driver, Bill Elliott. As you watch from our Super 8 roof cam, Elliott has climbed to 8th place. He started 37th today. A little further back, Terry Labonte leads a pack around. Labonte is the 11th place car, number 5. Strong shot to win today.
Ned, with your watch up here, he's clocking all these cars. Who's the quickest car out there?
Jeff Gordon is the quickest car right now. We said a moment ago that he was 4 3/4 seconds behind the leader, Rusty Wallace. Now he has cut it down to 3 3/10 seconds, so he's definitely gaining on him.
Average speed thus far, 184.5 miles an hour. No Daytona 500 has been run caution-free since 1962. Last year, we had a shot at it. Didn't see the first yellow flag to lap 126 of 200. There's Gordon. Look at that graphic, Ned. He's more than a mile an hour faster than the race leader, and he's pulling Kenny Schrader in 33 and Mark Martin's number 6 right along with them. He's chasing this pack.
Yes, he's pulling a long string of cars back there.
Jeremy Mayfield dropped out of that front group, and you see that right now Jeff Gordon and them are getting a little bit of tow from him because he's in between the 2 packs. That'll help them catch that much quicker.
3-car breakaway, then Mayfield all by himself, and then this train of 11 cars trying to run them down. Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, this is what a brand new Goodyear Eagle racing tire looks like that they're utilizing here today. Here's the set that just came off Mike Skinner's car. Now the one that's under the tarp back here that all the Goodyear officials are looking at with Mike Skinner's crew is coming apart right here in the middle of the tire. Larry McReynolds, a crew chief, thinks it didn't happen until when he slid to a stop because he didn't complain of any problems. They're going to have Goodyear take a look at that tire. Dick?
And I'm down at Bobby Labonte's pit. We've had Goodyear people down here as well. Phil Homer said he thinks that the only problem is that with the colder temperatures that some of the crews have taken what he called a very aggressive suspension setup. To Bill Stevens.
Well, the McDonald's drive-thru crew for Bill Elliott has certainly had a busy week. They have had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 11 engines in that car at one time or another. Ernie Elliott keeps building them. They keep changing them. They're happy with the one that's in there now, and they only made a 2-tire stop in that last pit stop to maintain track position.
Let's update you on 2 drivers that were in the top 10 before pit stops but are no longer. Dale Earnhardt has dropped to 20th position. Jimmy Spencer has dropped out of that lead group to 24th.
Mike, coming off turn 4 there, Jeff Gordon, you can see he's run Jeremy Mayfield down just in front of them. That's the first 3 positions up there. They'll catch this bunch in a hurry. They have the draft off the front bunch, and now Jeremy Mayfield, one of the fastest cars out there, has some help.
Gordon Chevrolet lined up on Mayfield's Ford. Mayfield has lost his teammate, Rusty Wallace, who is up leading this race right here with Dale Jarrett and Mike Skinner. Now look at the interval from this group of 3. It's about a dozen, 15 car lengths to the next pack, but this train is coming.
It is coming. It's coming much faster than those front three are running. Rusty Wallace, his lap times now are about 47.90 to 48 seconds flat. When Dale Jarrett was leading before they made the pit stop, he was running about 47.60 to 47.70. So they're running about 0.3 of a second slower than they were at that time. But adjustments might have made the difference.
Bill Elliott drops to the back of this pack behind Bobby Hamilton. Rusty Wallace told me this morning after the drivers' meeting, I've got a great car here.
Look at that sandwich wrapper up there on that hood bin. You think it didn't get to work out?
When he went through the drive-through, they just left a little sandwich wrapper there.
Look at it. This is what I'm talking about right there. That thing's really getting a workout. That's a hot dog wrapper at 200 miles an hour.
It's amazing they stays on that long.
Well, you said goodbye.
Bobby Labonte just ahead of Bill Elliott. Let's go to Ken Squire.
This is the 17th try for Rusty Wallace to win the 500. He came here in 1984 in the 125-mile qualifier and went side over side a dozen times off turn 2. It was replicated in 1993. Many have felt that Wallace was gun-shy about this track, but he certainly doesn't look gun-shy today, Mike.
No, Ken, he's led 13 laps today. In his previous 16 appearances at the Daytona 500, he had led only a total of 11 laps. So Wallace, he does have a strong horse today.
Mike, what we were talking about, look at this. Yes, he is very strong, but look at this bunch. They have run him down from way back. They were 200-300 yards back just a couple of laps back. Now it's a big train again.
And they don't want to ride in line. That group wants to race.
They want to race. They want to get up there and lead this Daytona 500. Here comes Mayfield. He's trying to make a run on Jarrett, but no room there.
Where that white line is at the bottom of the racetrack, it goes from 18 degrees to flat here in the tri-oval and 31 degrees to flat up here in the banking at the west side of the speedway. Do not dip your tires below that white line.
I'm watching Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 there. He's looking on the inside of Dale Jarrett down the front straightaway. He knows he has some help with Jeff Gordon if he can come with him.
He's got to get back up in line, though, before the banking, and does so single file. Number 2 on the left side of your screen is the leader, Rusty Wallace. 88, Dale Jarrett. Number 12, Jeremy Mayfield. 24, Jeff Gordon. 33, Kenny Schrader right back in it with a 6 of Mark Martin. We are 71 laps into the 41st Daytona 500 live on CBS. We'll be right back.
Through this intersection. What? No, this guy came out of nowhere. I swear to avoid him, but...
Slow down. Are you all right?
What happened? Dad, I'm really sorry about the car.
That doesn't matter. That's okay. Don't worry about that.
Your whole life can change in a second. So think about this. Ford Taurus is the only car in its class to earn a 5-star government front crash test rating.
He shook up, but he's fine.
NASCAR driver Jeff Burton goes head-to-head with everyday driver Eileen.
My car has a 750 horsepower high compression engine.
My car has an engine.
I can cruise all afternoon at 180 miles per hour.
I'll stick to 55, thanks.
I start my engine with a powerful Exide NASCAR Select battery.
Me too. Thanks.
The Exide NASCAR Select battery. It's not just for race cars.
How many sugars do you want?
Oh, I'll take 2. Hey, look at the little telephone.
Keep your eye on him. He'll be over every day to use it.
That's okay. Just as long as he dials 10-10-321 first.
Isn't 10-10-321 great? You should see how low my phone bill is.
And now it's even better, you know. Saves 50% off calls over 10 minutes.
Right, day or night. So I save big on all my most important calls.
Like when I call my boyfriend in New York.
Right, like when you call your boyfriend in New York. Wait a minute, boyfriend? You got a boyfriend?
My dad was really good with his hands. Could have been a surgeon if he wanted to. He could hear a car driving by and tell you whether it needed a tune-up or if the brakes were starting to go. Doctors and lawyers would stop at his garage asking for professional advice. And after school, he'd let me watch him work his magic on cars. More than anyone, he taught me how to earn my customers' trust. Like Dad, I'm proud to be a professional auto technician and proud of the work we do. CarQuest, the professional choice.
Tuesday on CBS, the militia accuses a Navy SEAL of murder. Is it an act of vengeance or an act of war? Montel Williams guest stars on an all-new Jag Tuesday on CBS. This great overhead coverage from 1,000 feet above Daytona International Speedway from the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes, a continuing tradition that began in 1960 here on CBS at the Orange Bowl. 75 laps complete. As you watch from the Goodyear blimp, Rusty Wallace leads Jarrett and Mayfield, 3 Fords at the front.
And we have a 6-car pull-away right now. Mike, I mentioned a little bit earlier that when Dale Jarrett was leading earlier that he was running like 47.60. Once Jeff Gordon and these other cars caught up to them, Rusty Wallace has picked up the pace. So I think the 6 cars can run faster than 3 cars because he's running 47.50 to 47.60 now in lap times.
Buddy, is that a surprise?
Yeah, no, not really, because the longer the train, the less turbulence you have in between cars. So the longer the train you have, the quicker that lead car can break through the air.
Dale Earnhardt has drifted way back in this race. He is the 20th place car after starting 4th and winning his qualifying race on Thursday. Here's Ken Squire.
Keep your eye on the Pontiac number 36 of Ernie Irvan, who started 31st today. And recall that this is his first time back since that serious crash at Talladega, Alabama, where he reactivated some of those injuries sustained back in '94 in Michigan. And right now, Ernie Irvan has pulled himself up into the 8th position. He's having a ride, Michael.
And that Pontiac, that yellow Pontiac, is a quick one, Ken. Irvan feels he can do it today.
You know, you were just talking about Earnhardt. He's almost a half a lap down right now to the leaders.
You're right, buddy. He's 17 seconds behind the lead cars. You're watching for Mike Skinner. Skinner is now the 7th place car in that Richard Childress Chevrolet. Looking back at Ernie Irvan. Dick Berggren, what's wrong with Dale Earnhardt?
Well, how about if we asked his crew chief? We're so used to seeing you guys in the lead. Seeing you way back is so strange. What's wrong?
Well, we had a little miscue on that pit stop. We lost the pack of cars we were running with. We desperately need a caution right now so we can catch back up.
Yeah, he kind of got running by himself and just got stuck in the back. They say the car's okay. To Ralph.
Where was crew chief Robin Pemberton for Rusty Wallace? Robin, you seem to run better with the bigger pack of cars. Is it better for the car to have 6 behind you like that?
Yeah, it takes a good 4 or 5 cars to get a good draft. You know, when it was just the 3 of them up front, they're about 47, 80s or 90s, and now they're 50s or 60s. So 3 cars don't cut it. You got to have at least 4.
To Bill Stevens.
Kenny Schrader having a great run, but you wouldn't have believed it if you saw the speeds he was running in happy hour yesterday. He was at the bottom of the page. The reason? Well, they didn't stay out too long. A little apprehension with this team. Crew Chief Sammy Johns told me, discretion the better part of valor. They wanted to park that car. It was running so well, they didn't want to risk having an accident in that last practice.
A car that is wrecked in practice, and the team has to go to a backup car. They have to go to the back of the starting grid. That's the reason there. If there was an incident on track that required the use of the caution flag and to slow the field behind the pace car, that would allow those cars that are running well behind the leaders to catch up in that line when they slow under caution. That's what Earnhardt is looking for, to try to get back with a pack to draft with. Back up front.
Right now, Earnhardt is running 18 seconds behind the leader. That's not quite a half a lap, but it's a long way.
Rusty Wallace, 0 for 16 in the Daytona 500. He has taken some wild tumbles here. Set a goal 2 years ago to just finish this race, and did. Has worked his way up into contention, both last year and this, to win the 500. His 17th try to win the great race.
Mike, at the end of this line right here is a very, very cagey driver, and he won his first race ever at Daytona this past week. Mark Martin's just sitting there in that 6 car, riding along in that front draft, and this is the best effort he's ever had at Daytona.
What this lead pack is trying to do right now is draft away from the rest of the field. That's why you're not seeing them passing. Each of these drivers is a proven commodity. They are all past Winston Cup race winners, and they know that to put themselves and keep themselves in a position to win by staying in that front pack amongst proven drivers that they can trust at 190 miles an hour is their best chance to be up front at the end of the day.
Certainly the least number that you can have up there, the better chances you have at the end, even though that 6-car pack is running some of the better laps that we've seen here today. They would like to get on away from the others.
One driver moving up is Wally Dallenbach. He's new with Rick Hendrick Motorsports as a full-time driver this year, as you watch from our Budweiser cam. Now, if Louie and Frank were stuck to that hood pin, nah, let's not go there.
I didn't know those folks could talk till I saw the last commercial.
Wally's moving up. He started 34th, and now he's running in 19th place. The former SCCA Road Racing Trans Am champion, pulling alongside Derek Cope, and running right behind Kyle Petty. Kyle had a big grin on his face. He was a cameraman yesterday out in the pits. His son Adam, a fourth-generation Petty, racing here at Daytona. And Kyle was a proud dad. He was snapping pictures of everything.
Boy, what a talent, too. I mean, he drove the wheels off that car all day long.
Finished in the top 10, 6th, I think it was. Just a great day for him.
Now that lead draft may get a little longer. Once again, the second pack is closing in on the 6 front runners.
Exactly. The minute they quit trying to pass each other back there, they started closing back in on that front group. Side by side, don't get it if you're trying to catch them.
Mike Skinner is the guy who is pulling that second pack. He has a very fast race car. We saw him lead this race for a while, a little bit earlier. And he hasn't lost any of that speed. He just got shuffled out of the draft there. But there's some racing going on back there in that track.
Bill Elliott is up high. That's the number 94, and Chad Little 97 as they race teammates Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, the green and orange Pontiac.
And a brother just in front of you up there, the number 5, Terry Labonte, pulling Bobby Labonte, and teammate there, as you said.
That battle is for 10th place. There is Kenny Irwin, that black and orange number 28 from Robert Yates Racing, teammate to Dale Jarrett, the former USAC open wheel champion, last year's Rookie of the Year on the Winston Cup circuit. Here's Bill Stevens.
Kenny Irwin has sliced through the field from 41st up to 10th. I just spoke to his crew chief, Doug Richard, and I said, what's Kenny saying to you? He says, he's not saying much. When you're doing that well, you don't say anything.
Good ride for Irwin. Not much for the fans in the stands with those programmable scanners to listen to on that channel.
Kenny feels that he has something to prove this year. His rookie year last year was not what he expected. That number 28 car is a very high-profile car, and maybe he put too much pressure on himself. Maybe other people expected too much of him, because it's tough for a rookie to come into this series, regardless of how good of a race car you got, and win week in and week out. And he wants to show people that he can drive one of these things, and he can. He's a very good talent.
And he had very little full-fendered race car experience before he came to Winston Cup. He spent a year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, did very well there, but everything else that he had driven had been open-wheel, lightweight race cars.
He had a good run in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series for a year and then moved into Winston Cup, and boy, that was a big jump.
84 laps are complete. We're closing in on halfway as you ride with Robert Presley, chasing Michael Waltrip in the 41st annual Daytona 500. We'll be right back.
There are many ways you can get stuck with a flat tire. But not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you keep driving to safety. The Goodyear AquaSteel Run Flat. It could be the difference between getting stuck and getting there. Only from Goodyear.
Hate to tell you, but we're looking at a negative sales trend coupled with high overhead. Frankly, I'm worried about capital preservation. Let me put it this way. Look, we're just not meeting our goals. Tell you what, give me more eggs, I'll give you more corn. Otherwise, we may have to diversify.
Sometimes it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Kinko's, express yourself.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working at AutoZone means taking pride in taking care of people.
Dial 10-10-345 for long distance. Calls are always 10 cents a minute, and every call is a chance to win one of 345 fabulous daily prizes. 30,000 prizes have already been won. Save and win. Dial 10-10-345 plus 1 and the number today. Rough.
Look, Jerry Seinfeld. See him live at the Grammys, along with your favorite musical stars, yada, yada, yada. The Grammys, CBS Wednesday, February 24th.
Tonight on CBS, how difficult is it for criminals to buy guns? Let some undercover cops show you how easy it is. Tonight on 60 Minutes. Then Olympic gold medalist Tara Lipinski guest stars on an all-new Touched by an Angel, followed by an emotional story inspired by true events. A woman's search for her true mother. ER's Gloria Rubin and Anne Bancroft star in the CBS Sunday movie Deep in My Heart, tonight on CBS. Saturday at 1 o'clock, conference crunch time on CBS Sports, NCAA hoops coverage. Tubby Smith's Kentucky Wildcats tangle with Nolan Richardson's Arkansas Razorbacks, or you'll see Miami battle the number 2 UConn Huskies next Saturday on CBS. Here's the new Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of NASCAR, Mike Helton, in the drivers' meeting introducing Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He said, "We're honored to have with us a member of the highest court in the land." He said, "Okay, after Bill France, the second highest court in this land."
Exactly.
And congratulations to Mike on his new responsibilities overseeing all the day-to-day activities of NASCAR. Bill France Jr. remains Chief Executive Officer and President.
Yeah, and Mike Helton's a nice guy. You see Rusty Wallace right now. He is flying around this racetrack. This front group, they're closing in on some pretty good race cars. Darrell Waltrip is in jeopardy of going a lap down in just a second, just in front of several good race cars in front of him.
Well, their speed has picked up since he's picked up the draft of those cars are coming up the lap. He's running about 47.50 now, and he had slowed down to about 47.75 to 80, but he's picking up the draft of those cars, and the closer they get, the faster they'll go.
Fellas, I can't put a finger on it as to why this is going on, but can you imagine we're halfway? It's just that the driving is so excellent this year. Here we are, 185 mile an hour average. We have had not one caution. When Buddy Baker set that record back in 1980 at 177 miles an hour, we had 5 cautions, 15 laps under yellow. Hasn't been one today. The execution of these guys, amazing with these restrictor plate engines. Buddy, your record could be challenged out here.
You know what? I'd rather have a good, safe race than to keep a record. So this is a great race right now. They're getting around here. And in the meeting this morning, in the drivers' meeting, they said, okay, you guys are the greatest drivers in the world. Act like it.
Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, Rusty Wallace has won plenty of races over his career, but the other night at dinner, he told me the story about the first race he ever won. It was a heat race in a late model stock car. He says, you know, I was so excited. I was transferring on to the main event. I got the car into the main event. We started the race. I forgot to gas the thing up, and I run out of fuel just a few laps in. Something tells me he won't have that problem today.
There's Wallace's number 2 beginning to lap his brother Mike Wallace and some of these other cars. That is one great thing about the heroes of NASCAR. None of them came out of high school to full scholarships. None of them came out of college to $1 million signing bonus. Every one of these drivers started out at a quarter-mile track running Saturday night somewhere, be it Caribou, Maine, or El Cajon, California, or anywhere in between. There are thousands of short tracks to race every weekend. And if you're having fun today, folks, get out and see one of them this summer, because that's where the future stars of this circuit will come from.
And every fan in that grandstand, that's where they started out also. That's where your fan base comes from to make this great event, the Daytona 500.
There's a racetrack in every state but Rhode Island, and they've got a pretty good one right next door at Seekonk, Massachusetts. The Winston Racing Series of NASCAR runs on those short tracks all summer long. So call NASCAR, or as we say, check your local listings, and get out to see a race this summer. Kenny Wallace is down on the track apron as they come through the tri-oval here, and he is off the pace.
He is definitely off the pace. Looks like smoke coming from underneath the car, and also the Edlick Sadler car, number 21, is in the pits.
Ned, he had drifted way up high on the racetrack 1 lap ago, and the rookie driver driving for the Wood brothers, who have won this race 5 times, as an early stop.
Yeah, and that was right in front of the leaders. When he went up high there, you could see how fast the leaders were going by there.
Kenny Wallace has lost, apparently, the engine. No oil pressure, he radioed to his crew.
And I doubt if he'll be able to coast back around to the pits. It'll be interesting to see. Will he get the car off the racetrack somewhere where they won't need to throw a caution, or will he just stop out there somewhere?
I'm going to make a little bet here. I bet he does not let his brother have to have a caution right now. He's going to probably pull that car off somewhere out of the way.
The drivers were advised in the drivers' meeting this morning that there are several locations on the backstretch where they can turn in out of harm's way. We'll see if Wallace chooses to do so or try to get to the pits and see if they can make repairs. We've been caution-free here so far, and we're 6 laps from halfway.
He's still out there just on the edge of the racetrack.
And there's a $10,000 bonus for the halfway, and then you see that Jeremy Mayfield has taken over second from Dale Jarrett. Got up there with his teammate. Caution is out.
Oil on the racetrack. Reports on some of the in-car radios. So they will come to the caution flag for the first time today.
And they'll race back to the caution flag. Some of those drivers about to go a lap down, and Steve Park is one of them. He will stay on the lead lap, but Jeff Burton was not so lucky. He just had gone a lap down.
As well as Darrell Waltrip and the other guys. That is really bad racing luck when you get caught like that.
Caution come out the next lap.
Yeah.
First caution of the day, and we were coming up anyway on the second round of green flag pit stops. So Dick Berggren, pit road will be a busy place.
Maybe Rusty Wallace didn't want to see this caution flag, but Dale Jarrett sure did. He ran over some debris on the racetrack about a half or 3/4 of a lap ago. He didn't know if he'd cut a tire down or not. Right now, that's all going to be academic because he will be coming in, as will everybody else, for 4 tires.
You can see that Kenny had pulled off the racetrack, but the oil was the reason for the caution.
Last year, the first caution flag in the race didn't occur until lap 126. We are 95 laps into the Daytona 500. 5 laps from halfway.
There are still 31 cars on the lead lap, and all of those will be coming into the pits.
When they open pit road to the competitors, only those cars on the lead lap will be allowed to pit. Cars that are 1 or more laps down have to wait until the second time by before they can come in and get their service. On pit road, whether it's under the green flag or under caution, the cars are limited to 55 miles an hour. In the interest of safety for the pit crews, 7 men are allowed to jump over the wall and service the race cars. Kenny Wallace getting a push from one of the wreckers to come back around either to pit road or the garage area. As they line up and peel off, all the lead lap cars this time should come to pit road.
Ricky Rudd is one of those who had just gone a lap down, so he'll have to stay out there a lap.
We're watching first, second, and third place, top to bottom, on the left side of your screen. Dick Berggren.
Dale Jarrett in the pits right now. He's the one that was lucky to catch that caution flag. Robbie Hancock's going to do the front tires. Brad Parrott's on the back. Steve Allen's on the gas. Mike Ford on the jack. Going to make a full tire change here to route.
Rusty Wallace's crew going to work. Bill Wilburn changing the front tires. Mark Armstrong working on the rears. They make no changes to the car. He had a great stop. He gets out just in front of Dale Jarrett. That's right where they wanted him. He is in great shape. They are really pumped down here. To Bill Stevens.
Mike Skinner just completed his stop. 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. He was out in 18 seconds. A fine stop for the Lowe's crew.
So coming off pit road, Rusty Wallace leads Dale Jarrett once again. Jeremy Mayfield is about 3 spots further back after pit stops. And the hood is up on Bobby Labonte's car. That is not a good sign.
We had heard earlier that the engine had a little bit of a skip in it. They're probably looking at wires and things to see if they can find it. Dick Berggren?
Well, Dale Jarrett's also got a problem. He's apparently picked up some sort of a hole in the front fender, and they are going to bring that car back in again on pit road. You saw the problems that happen when there are troubles on pit road with a green flag racing. Guy gets out of the lead pack, and he is really in trouble. Meanwhile, the 18, Bobby Labonte, still on pit road. They are trying to find that skip. They have tried to figure it out all day. This time, they're taking no chances. Look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mechanics under the hood simultaneously. 5 of them all trying to find it. And you heard it. That engine engine is not running sweet right now. It has decidedly got to skip. Tough day for Labonte. They had run so well early on.
Now, Dick, they have the luxury of time. With the field running behind the pace car under caution, it gives Labonte about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to service that car. He will still be on the lead lap when he comes around. We're under caution of lap 96. CBS coverage continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Gordon is way behind.
Stick a fork in Jeff. He's done.
What is he thinking?
Holy baloo!
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
What could possess a man to drive like that?
Oh, gotcha.
He's making his move backward. Gordon wins.
We gotta get him a cup holder.
Pepsi is the proud sponsor of the Daytona International Speedway and the Daytona 500.
Parents, sometimes you wonder what they really know. But when your dad is your head coach, like Bryce Drew's dad at Valparaiso, you listen. You've practiced the same play since you were a kid in the backyard. You think, I'm never going to use this, but you practice it anyway. Why?
Jenkins to Drew for the win! Gone! Bryce Drew did it! Valpo has won the game!
Sometimes fathers really do know best. We call it March Madness, and it's here on CBS.
Thanks for making CBS America's most watched network. Welcome home.
Hey, Ray! Those brake pads really did the trick.
Great.
I got a couple more things I need. Do you think you have these?
Think? No problem. Hey, Jeff, can you get these for Dan?
I'm on it.
Hey, Dan, here you go. Anything else?
No, I think this'll do it.
All right, great.
Thanks, guys.
Not as fast as Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. It's a little slow in that turn at aisle 3.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
For those who go the distance, the start is critical. That's why Exxon Superflow races to protect vital engine parts at the start when significant damage can occur. Superflow has a unique formula offering protection that's fast, protection that lasts.
Counting down to the new millennium, News Channel 3 leading the way.
CBS Sports presentation of the Daytona 500 is sponsored by Visa, the official card of Daytona 500. Use the card, drive the sport. Pepsi, proud sponsor of the Daytona International Speedway and the 1999 Daytona 500. And by Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us.
We welcome you back to Daytona International Speedway under caution flag as we approach the halfway point of the race. Greg Gumbel along with Ken Squire. We've talked about the cars that are running strong. What about the ones that are surprising you today, Ken?
Well, I'll tell you one that's really surprising me now is Chad Little, the number 97 car. No one's given him too much of a call, and he's worked his way up to 7th spot. He's one of the leading cars that is running for the Jack Roush team at the present time. Look for that number 97 in the second half of this race. He could pull a real surprise. He came from dead last and won out here 4 years ago in the 300 on Saturday. Talk about 3 hours of intensity. We've sure got it here today.
Why the big difference, Ken, in yesterday's race and today's with all the incidents as compared to relatively few mishaps out there today?
Most competitive automobile racing in the world. These are the world's best. These are the top 43 seats, and they're certainly proving it with the exhibition they've given us thus far.
All right, Ken. Mike Joy.
Thanks, Greg. What a competitive race so far. But Ned Jarrett, what a safe race so far. And just a lot of working together, giving a little room, taking a little room, but a lot of drivers working together out there, not being overly aggressive.
Yeah, there has been a lot of give and take out there. And I think after we saw what had happened in the days leading up to this race today, sometimes that's a wake-up call for the drivers. And I'm glad to see it, that they were able just to get out there and race, give the other guy a little bit of ground when he needs it. And then when you get down near the end of this thing, that's the time to really go for it.
Buddy, when you won this race, you had unrestricted engines. You had the power to pull out and pass. It's a whole different game now.
Well, it is, and everybody finds somebody they're comfortable running with, and about the time they think everything's great, somebody will jump on the outside and they say, I got to go with him. Heck with this teammate or whatever, I got to go.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, this is the tire that was on the front of Dale Jarrett's car. He did run over a piece of debris. Look at this. That thing is almost cut all the way through. He got really lucky, and there indeed is a hole in the front grille area of that car. Jarrett just radioed Jeff Gordon. Take a look at that thing. They have decided that even though they've got the hole, they're just going to leave it alone. Just going to leave it alone. Meanwhile, Bobby Labonte has been back in, and they've changed plug wires on that car.
Cars lining up for the restart. Let's try to get a word with sophomore driver Steve Park. Steve, you got a great break there at the caution, hanging on to the lead lap. What kind of race are you having there today?
I'll tell you guys, we had a little bit of a goof up in the pits. I slid through the pits, made a little bit of a rookie mistake. My guys on the Pennzoil team did a good job of coming back from that, and we just had to drive our butts off to get on the lead lap. But I got to go back to work, guys. Thanks.
Steve Park is on the lead lap, running in 28th position, thanks to Racing Electronics, who provide our communication with the drivers and our pit scanners. Bobby Labonte is back in, having another look under the hood, and this will cost them a bit. Now here is Dale Jarrett's nose of this car. Now they said there was a hole in the fender, and a little bit of aerodynamic upset to that Ford Taurus.
Well,
and
it looks like it's right in this area, Mike.
They've got it pretty well taped up. So hopefully that won't be a consequence to Jarrett as we get ready to go back to 190 miles an hour.
Mike, anything that you have happen to the leading edge of a race car is important, because it's like the leading edge of a wing on an airplane. You don't want any dents, you want it very smooth.
But the reason they didn't come in and fix that is because they didn't want to give up the track position. There's still 31 cars on the lead lap, and that's where he would have restarted this race.
Green flag at halfway in the Daytona 500. Bobby Labonte comes out of the pits, and he will go a lap down, perhaps, as this field comes to speed.
Let me add to that, as they go through the corner here, 2x2, he might have a little dent there, but as long as he's tucked right up under another car, it don't even address the air.
One thing that we can watch for here, fellas, we got the halfway mark, but there's $10,000 for leading the halfway mark. Okay, they're going to run 5 laps, and whoever's leading at the end of 5 laps will get that bonus from Gatorade.
Bobby Labonte comes up to speed as the pack catches him. So the 125-mile qualifying winner will drop 1 lap off the leader.
That's how fast they go by.
Jeff Gordon is back up in contention. Here comes his number 24, steaming along up the outside and pulling a train with him as they chase Rusty Wallace.
Well, he made a move on Dale Jarrett, got up beside of him on the last lap coming off of turn 4, but that didn't work for him, Mike, and it slid him back a little bit. Nobody went with him up there, and so now he's got some help there from the number 28 car. Maybe can help pull him back up through there.
2 Fords and a Chevrolet head this field. Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, Mike Skinner, Jeff Gordon, Jeremy Mayfield, and Mark Martin. You're watching from Jeff Burton's car at number 28, Kenny Irwin.
Kenny Irwin right now, he's running an 8th spot. You're looking back right now as he comes up.
3 wide into the tri-oval. Bobby Labonte trying to get back up the challenge and come back up on the lead lap as that green car on the inside.
Of course, what he has to do, he has to pass the leader and then hope for a caution flag.
102 laps complete in the Daytona 500. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett topside. Rusty Wallace trying to win his first 500. Dale Jarrett trying to win his 3rd. They lead Mike Skinner, Jeremy Mayfield, Jeff Gordon, Kenny Irwin in 6th, Mark Martin, Chad Little, Ernie Irvin, and Bobby Hamilton 10th. Bill Elliott, Kenny Schrader, Terry Labonte, Ward Burton, and Sterling Marlin 15th. Then Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Petty, Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip, and Joe Nemechek 20th. Rick Mast, outside pole sitter Tony Stewart, Kevin LePage, Robert Presley, Bickle, Musgrave, Nadu, Park, Dallenbach, and Jeffrey Bodine are the cars on the lead lap. 29 of them, 30 of them rather.
Ned was just talking about these guys going for that $10,000 at halfway. Darrell Waltrip tells a funny story about that. He said he was running as hard as he could in 8th place, and Junior Johnson said the money lap's coming up, go up there and get it.
It'd be tough for the 8th place car in this race to go up there and get it. It's going to be tough for the 2nd place car to go get it.
8th place car is Chad Little, number 97.
As Ken Squire pointed out, he's having a great run here. Chad Little always seems to run this racetrack so well. He won a Busch race here several years ago when he was running in that series.
Now I've got to ask you, okay, $10,000 for the halfway lap. That's nice. Yeah. But did you ever meet a race driver who thought about money when he was out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking to one, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking to say it matters.
Oh,
You don't read the you don't read and see what everything pays, but your crew does, and they go, okay, $10,000, 2 laps.
Come on, buddy. Didn't you want to win more than you wanted to get paid?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know that. But I got paid.
But when that money's up there for grabs, they want to try to get it.
Jeff Burton looking back at Chad Little. Kyle Petty, Bill Elliott in the middle of that pack. Here's Bill Stevens.
Chad Little with the fastest speed in happy hour yesterday is very happy about that car. I spoke with him and his crew chief, Jeff Hammond, this morning. The thing that they were thrilled about was yesterday in happy hour, they could keep up with all of the faster cars. Gordon, Earnhardt, Wallace. They knew that they'd have a shot at this race today based on yesterday.
It is getting dicey out there.
Yeah, as we were watching just now, Kyle Petty made contact with Ricky Rudd. 2 great drivers. That's why we don't have another caution right now.
Kyle Petty, his 18th try to win the Daytona 500. Ricky Rudd trying for the 22nd time to win this race.
Here comes Skinner.
31, Mike Skinner.
Got a run on Dale Jarrett.
Here comes Jarrett with Jeff Gordon behind him on the outside. Buddy, when they run like this, is it exciting or frustrating out there?
No, that's exciting. Let me tell you, if you don't like the heat, you shouldn't get in the kitchen. Right there, you have to want to do this.
Rusty Wallace may have got a little nudge there. And here comes Jarrett around the outside.
Well, Wallace, I'm pretty sure, picked up the halfway bonus, the $10,000, because he's been out there long enough, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Daytona 500. Look at these guys go at it here.
Rusty Wallace has 48 Winston Cup wins, 21 on super speedways, 21 on short tracks, and 6 road race wins. But in these restrictor plate races where the engines are restricted at the world's 2 fastest tracks, Daytona and Talladega, he is looking for his first victory.
I think I'm going to quit worrying about Dale Jarrett and that front end on that car. He pulled out there. He hadn't lost an inch to anybody. He is flying around this racetrack. He and Rusty Wallace side by side down the front straightaway. Jeff Gordon on the outside looking high there.
Gordon trying to push Jarrett on by and then hope that he can make a run on him. But they slowed down about a second that last lap, buddy, running side by side.
Yeah, anytime you do that, you're cutting a hole in the air there that's almost half the track wide.
Riding with Mark Martin. Roof cam on the Valvoline Ford. There's where Mark has been today, as high as 6th. Back in the pack as well. Gordon drifts a little bit high. Irwin sees a little room, and here comes Ernie Irvin.
Now, him moving up like that hurt the 88 car's chances of staying right up there side by side. You could see it. It was almost like he was pulling him backwards.
The 2 fastest Fords here, Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett. Pull the train around here on 2 tracks.
You see, Kenny, Ernie Irvin there got caught in the middle. They were 3 wide there, almost an accident.
Coasting down the backstretch, Ricky Craven out of power. I believe he'll make it to pit road.
He is going into turn 3 right now where the leaders are about to come in there, but he's down on the apron out of their way.
Boy, I always loved it when they were running side by side with me and me leading. I would get on the straightaway and just give them each a half a car to draft on. I wouldn't let them have the full advantage of being able to draft on the whole car.
Ward Burton, our Siemens in-car camera for Bill and Gail Davis race team. Ward's having a great day. He's been with the lead pack all day long.
Skinner on the outside right now looking over Rusty Wallace trying to take a lead. That car has amazing power to me.
Trying to put a Chevrolet back in the front of the Daytona 500 is Mike Skinner. That's his number 31.
But here comes Rusty's teammate up there, the car number 12 of Jeremy Mayfield, going to push Rusty right on back up there.
They started darting around there. I thought I was watching the last lap of 1979 again with Cale and Donnie.
Yeah, those things, you know, you talk about cars being stable. They're not stable at close to 200 miles an hour. That's a lot of air going around these race cars. A little vacuum, like when you pass a big truck on the highway, your car will buff it back and forth. That's what those drivers are feeling.
Mike Skinner has led 17 laps today, but he did not lead that one. Wallace remains out front. Here's Dick Berggren.
And as we watch those two cars up front, you can certainly see one of the wonderful advantages of a two-car team. But there's a downside as well. When something goes wrong with one car, it can go wrong with the other as well. The 20 car, Tony Stewart, who started on the outside pole, his engine is skipping, just like Bobby Labonte. The team car, both Joe Gibbs cars, engines skipping. They don't know what's wrong with either one of them. Mike?
Bobby Hamilton may have brushed the wall. The 4-car was in the middle of that second pack and has now drifted back and may lose touch with the draft. Kenny Schrader, Kenny Irwin, couple of ex-USAC open-wheelers side by side. The green 33, the black 28 there. Bill Stevens.
Just spoke to the crew chief for Bobby Hamilton, Charlie Presley. On that last pit stop, they started playing with the tape on the front of the car. They tried to get the front end of the car to play more, and maybe you guys in the booth can explain what he was talking about.
Well, they use tape to either make the car tighter or looser. They put more tape on the car and loosen it up a little bit, make it run faster down the straightaway. And of course, if they want to make it a little bit tighter, they'll take tape off.
Well, the other thing, when you put a lot of tape on the front, you get more downforce. It gets more grip on the front. Less tape makes the back a little bit more secure.
There you look at those cars coming through the tri-oval once again. 112 laps complete. They put tape across the grille to prevent too much air from going through the radiator that would slow the car's speed. 112 laps. Rusty Wallace is the leader. His teammate, young Kentucky driver Jeremy Mayfield, lined up right on his back bumper, right where he wants to be. We'll be back to Daytona live on CBS after this.
Marty's here. Let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Pro. A starter for a Saab. EGR valve for a 74 Gremlin.
See you tomorrow, Marty.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
That's me, Bill. Here we are at the Super 8.
For reservations, call 1-800-800-8000.
That's one race that I wish I could run over one more time.
The legendary Daytona 500 has broken a lot of hearts.
I was way out front in 1981, and that thing ran out of gas.
In 74, I blew a tire with 12 laps to go.
But the biggest Daytona heartbreak of all would be trying to get into this year's 500 using an American Express card. So if you want to enjoy the heart-pounding excitement of Daytona, bring your Visa card, official card of NASCAR.
My girlfriend let me here at Daytona. I sure miss that car.
Everything was going well on Frank's first night as foreman until he made one tiny mistake.
There's a Ford F-Series in the lot with the lights on. There's a Ford F-Series with the lights on.
F-Series is America's best-built, best-selling truck. It's 50 years tough. And obviously, for a lot of people, it's the only truck that's tough enough. Next time, Frank, get the plate number. Ford F-Series, the biggest, toughest trucks ever built Ford Tough.
Green buddies, I got some bad news. We got canned. They want us off the rocks by the end of the day.
What did you just say?
Canned? Who got canned? Okay, freeze the swamp. You guys can talk?
Of course we can talk, you bonehead.
What does canned mean? But all you said was bud and
We were reading from the script. You should try it sometime.
What does canned mean? Don't be fired. Canned means fired? I can't breathe. Gonna get sick? Wait, no, don't get sick. Getting sick? Put your head between your legs.
Someone get him a bucket.
Now, how is that supposed to sell beer?
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
Back live at Daytona International Speedway after 113 of 200 laps. We have had 5 leaders. The current leader, Rusty Wallace, an average speed now of just over 174 miles an hour. Just the one caution, and of the 43 starters, just 2 cars are out.